Sandwiches and ready meals. Eating meatless meats are attracting convenience shoppers more than ever. So far, vegetable-based meat has focused on replacing minced meat, which is relatively easy to replicate in taste, touch, feel, and smell. But with existing plant-based manufacturing technology, it is not easy to create a plant-based delicacy alternative that is a realistic substitute. The trend could also be driven by Meatless Monday, which encourages consumers to eat less meat by going vegetarian or vegan one day a week. While Impossible Foods has struggled to get its products on store shelves, it sells vegetable burger patties as well as a ground beef alternative sold for £1 per brick. Since plant-based alternatives are part of other vegan and vegetarian products, grocers have difficulty figuring out where to place them in their supermarkets, whether they belong in the meat box or not. They aim to produce products that mimic the flavor and consistency of the meat with or without sizzle, flavor, or color. Consumers who order meat substitutes online or in restaurants also buy them in grocery stores, but they order them in restaurants rather than in grocery stores. While the jury is still out on the health implications, plant-based alternatives to meat are a great option for those who want to reduce red meat consumption. In this sense, the companies do not necessarily target vegans or vegetarians who are only looking for plant-based options. They target people who like meat, but they look at other factors such as saturated fat, cholesterol, and other health risks. At present, vegetable alternatives to meat seem to be gaining ground when it comes to the use of land, water, and energy resources compared to animal meat. As a result, this may be the future of the meat industry as a whole. Tyson Foods has already announced its first line of plant-based and blended meat products, as well as investing in Beyond Meat in 2016. More research is needed to expand production to meet consumer demand, but at the moment it looks as though vegetable alternative meat will prevail in the long term, at least in terms of health and environmental sustainability, especially when it comes to offering a healthier alternative to eating burgers and sausages. If everything comes together to create a more sustainable, healthier, and environmentally friendly way of eating meat, consumers will be allowed to produce plant-based substitutes without sacrificing the experience of eating meat. Some companies have taken the steps to become the leading suppliers of vegan burgers, others have been described by others as impossible burgers, and are increasingly available. Whether you choose red meat or plants, the advice is the same: pair with a whole meal bun, stack a bunch of vegetables on top, and pay attention to the spices and other toppings you choose. Beyond Meat is a guide to how vegetable meat substitutes look and taste and what to look for. Beyond Meat is a great resource for anyone who knows how to cook with meat but can be a new experience when learning to cook with the product for the first time. Beyond Meat has an easy-to-use guide to the best vegetarian and vegan meat substitutes for everyone. Herbal substitutes often taste the same as the real thing and have none of the side effects of animal foods such as fat, cholesterol, and sugar. You can easily modify meatless-based dishes and they will still taste the same as meat. Textured vegetable protein is a dehydrated meat substitute made from soy flour and is an excellent substitute for minced meat. Some meat substitutes are rich in saturated fat, whether they are made with beans, tofu, or other plant-based foods. Manufacturers of meat alternatives often use coconut or palm oil, which is rich in saturated fatty acids, to give the product a mouth-feel similar to minced meat, so customers need to read the meat substitute label to determine the fat content. Consumers avoiding eggs and dairy products must be careful and read the labels carefully, as some meat substitutes do not contain meat but are not free of animal products. It is worrying that many meat substitutes contain allergens, and consumers with food allergens, such as the 7% of our food allergic customers who want to eat meat substitutes, will have to read all labels carefully, look for other terms that indicate food allergens, and consider the possibility of cross-contamination. The world's leading producer of plant-based meat substitutes are hastening the food world and convincing meat lovers to consider other products that have a higher protein content, lower fat content, and lower cholesterol than real meat. But what if you can't buy that impossible meat a substitute at the local grocery store or even the supermarket? Then you could try Burger King, who now has the Impossible Whopper, and Subway, who has Beyond Meat meatballs and sandwiches.
This has been SOTS Knowledge is Power.